Today we're talking about obtaining more data points to use on our Alexa for Musicians website. So we already have a few, but there's more we can have, and we want to be able to use that data to help the musicians. So we're trying to add start and end time for a specific session, a unique user ID for that session, length of the session, an array of all the intents, array of everything that all the intents that were not a registered saying, and then the device ID.
Got it. And do you remember the 3 tests we wanted to run?
I remember we wanted to run if there was we wanted to try one way was to send data to Firebase. So like during the session, Alexa would be recording everything, and so it would record every single utterance, and either A, it would be sending to the cloud as the session was going on, or B, she would be storing all the data inside of the RAM, and then at the end of the session send it up to the cloud, or we record it by second, and just, I guess she records the data with one observation for every session and sends that up to the cloud.
Cool. Let's get started. Going to share screen. Go into Musicians AI, and we're now inside of the Jovo project, so I'm going to close all of my existing tabs and things. Don't care about you right now. Code./ to launch our code editor. What the musician is, which we should be able to find inside of our language model. Looks like this one is testing experience. So we'll use testing experience to get started. All the work that we should be doing should be inside of a middleware hook. And it looks like there is no middleware hook in here right now. Samir mentioned something about on request being used. Okay, so it does look like there's an on request currently. So each time there's a request being made, which means each time someone says something to Alexa, it checks skip on request, which I don't know what that does. Helper functions. Intents to skip, index of, where's intents to skip? Okay, so we will skip this if it's on place song intent, next intent, or previous intent. Additionally, it'll skip if it's anything playback controller related. It's going to skip the on request. But if it is something that should be done, if it's an Alexa skill. So this is a hook to make sure that it's always displaying, and then it puts up a card. So this is for visual displays. It looks like he's using this for visual displays, or we're using this for visual displays. We want to do a Jovo middleware hook. So first thing we'll do is we'll try to get you to launch this current app that will be running on my local machine on your Alexa device. Okay. So in order to do that, looks like we can update. So we'll go Jovo update real quick. And then it'll ask me if I want to update everything, and I do, so now it'll update. In the meantime, while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and go over to developer.amazon.com. close out well, I'll just shift this down to Alexa for musicians. Developer console. AWS at Voice First Tech. Sign in there. Go to Alexa Skill Kit. And swap over to Dynamic Music, which is our Alexa for Musicians account. Over here, I search for the skill that we're doing, which is, I believe it was testing. Go to English US. Should be called Testing Experience.
Mm-hmm.
And this one might be it. Wasn't edited since January of this year. We'll find out in invocation. It should be testing experience. There it is. Cool. So now we'll go to distribution, availability, beta test. Now I just need the email address that you use to sign into your Amazon Alexa.
I believe it's my school account. Let me make sure. But that would be sweetmaj@miamioh.edu.
Okay. Enable. Alright, so now go to that link that I just sent you inside of Alexa for Musicians, and you can go ahead and share your screen.
Alright. So, do I enable this?
Yep. And now you should be able to test it. Go ahead and try.
Alexa, open testing experience. Alexa, open testing experience.
Thank you. I don't know the answer to that, but I have reached out to my creator,
Alexa,
who will update me shortly. In the meantime, how can I help you?
open testing experience.
Thank you. I don't know the answer to that.
You're inside of the skill. You need to tell it to exit.
Who will update me
Alexa,
shortly.
exit. Alexa, open testing experience.
Welcome to Musician AI. You can say play songs and listen to a track or app where you can find my music.
Exit. Awesome.
So now I'm going to Jovo run, start the server locally. And now the goal is to try it again, and this time have it be on my local webhook instead of the deployed code. So if you try it now, it should show it working on my computer, so go ahead and give it a shot.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
There it is.
Hey, it's DJ the King, and welcome to my Arthur album. Thank you for listening in with me, playing a song, connect with me. Which one would you like?
Exit.
So the first thing we're going to try to do...
Hey, it's DJ the King, and welcome to my
Alexa,
Arthur album.
exit.
So there's no middleware in here. So I'm going to go to Jovo's webpage, jovo.tech. Shout out Jovo, the voice layer, Jan Koenig, Alex Sweetlow. Good team based out of Germany. Docs, we're going to search for middleware. Output middleware. And the output middleware is used to turn the output object into a response object. The middleware turns a cross-platform output into a platform-specific JSON response. This is why it's helpful for hooks and plugins. No need to... Okay, so really we want hooks. Hooks. App hook. So we will use this. And before platform output, that sounds good. Right before it goes to our output. So we'll add this down here. App.hook before platform output. At this point, we want to get the request information and save it into Firebase. So now we will console.log middleware output hook. I'm going to comment all this out. Now I'm going to crash the server and rerun it, and you'll try launching it again, and let's see if we log what we just told it to log.
Is it ready?
Yeah.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Bam.
Hey, it's DJ
Middleware
the King,
output hook gets sent right before we see the output.
Alexa, exit.
Console.log request, because we want all of the data from the request. So now we'll console.log jovo.$request. I don't know if that is something that I can log. So let's just see what happens when we do that. I'll crash the server, rerun it. Let's try it again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, it's DJ the King, and welcome to my Arthur album. Thank you for listening in with me.
Okay, and here's the request object. So here's everything that we should need. And now the first thing you wanted to try is just storing all of this data straight in Firebase.
I'm still working on that one. In the meantime,
Alexa, exit. Say that again.
So you said the first thing you wanted to try was just storing all of this inside of Firebase.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if Firebase exists. GitLab, create skill, delete user. Publish, update skill, smart. No, that's for smart.js. Helper functions. Firebase admin. It looks like Firebase admin is getting initialized in helper functions. So we should be able to leverage this as long as we're exporting it somewhere. And we're exporting DB, so we should be able to import that in app.js as long as we have helper functions. Control find helper. There we go. Okay, so we're already getting get audio from CMS. Get audio from CMS. We also want DB. So I will add a comma after get audio CMS and we'll do DB.
Okay.
And DB, as defined above, DB is admin.firestore. So down here in our middleware, we can run db dot, actually, so let's now go to Firebase. Firebase add, no, not Firebase, Firestore, add data. This will help us add data to the Cloud Firestore. And we want to, hopefully it gives us some of this. db.collection blank dot doc that dot set, then in a catch. So let's try these. Boop. Database.collection musicians dot doc. I think we have a testing experience. We're going to go into the database and actually see. Musician AI. So we've got a collection of musicians, and now we should have testing experience down here. Testing. And inside of here we have all of this, and now you want, so we'll just hard code testing for now. Testing.
Okay.
Unless we have a musician attribute somewhere. Control F musician. Not on this page. Control Shift F musician. Wonder if it's in helper functions. Artist. Where's artist coming from? Let's find get media and see where we're passing in variables. Where's variables coming from? Variables is coming from dot 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 app. So we're inside of controls dot 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 dot. We're inside of controls.js, which I do not see, but I also don't see display APL. Interesting. Control F for variables. I don't see variables here. I'm not sure where this is. Not sure where this is getting its data from. There's controls.js, which is found right here. I guess this somehow is getting pulled into here, but I don't see a musician name. So for now, the goal is, well, I guess we'll just hard code testing because I could not figure that out quick enough. And inside of that, we want to go into a collection. Do you remember what you wanted the collection to be?
A name for it. We can create a temporary name, I guess.
User data dot doc, and now we want it to be a timestamp. So let's get millisecond timestamp. How are we doing timestamp right now? Let's check out.
Right now it's seconds. So if we continue working with seconds, it'd be fine. JavaScript uses milliseconds to milliseconds since January 1st.
So you're fine with milliseconds?
Milliseconds are set, yeah. So if you prefer to keep it consistent, you can use seconds, or super easy to go from seconds to milliseconds from seconds. So.
Constant now equals new date. Const timestamp equals now dot get milliseconds. So now the doc will be timestamp, and then we will set. Let's just save this data and see if it works. So I will crash the server, rerun it. Now let's see if any data shows up. Try it again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
There was a problem with the requested
Womp
skills.
womp. Document path is not a valid path. Must be a non-empty string. So it did not like something inside of there. One part of the document path did not exist. So for now, let's just go hello world, and let's see if that exists. We'll crash the server, rerun it. Let's try it again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, it's DJ the King, and welcome to my Arthur album. Thank you for listening in with me, playing songs, connect with me. Which one would you like?
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
So as you can see, it saved hello world inside of user data. Now let's see if we can, instead of setting all of that, let's try setting request to request, and instead of logging it, let's set it to a constant request equals that. Honestly, we don't even need to define it as a variable. We can just save some code, clean code, less code, and then inside of here we can just paste jovo.request. I don't know why timestamp did not work.
Maybe it has to be a string instead of a number.
That could be it. Timestamp.toString. Let's see if that works any better. We'll crash the server, rerun it, and try it again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Argument data is not a valid. Doesn't like that it is an object. So there's our first barrier. It does not like that it's a whole object. So at this point you need to decide, do you want to just store it as a string, .toString?
What information does the request have? I'm sure if it's a string instead of an object, it's easy to parse it back into an object.
Here is what the request has. All of this is stored. All of this is your request.
Okay. So
I'll start at the top.
it's got versions. Is it new session? Session ID. Okay, so that's a unique session ID. So it's got user ID. Okay. You can scroll down. Okay.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, I feel like a lot of this is jargon.
Tell me more.
Is this a JSON format or no?
It is a JSON format.
Okay. So if it's a string and it's like this, it would be easy to turn it into an object, right?
Hopefully, that is a good assumption, but not always the case.
Okay.
I think a quick thing to do would be, yes, to just store it as a string, and then you see if you can parse it later on.
Yeah.
And if
go
you
ahead.
can't, we have another meeting, and then we go deeper into the data.
Go ahead. Yep.
Okay, so we are already saving it as a string. I have what didn't it like? We have not crashed and rerun. So now we have crashed. We are rerunning. You can test again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, it's DJ the King, and welcome to my album. Thank you for listening in with me. You play a song, you connect with me. Which one would you like?
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
So right now it's not giving us a good timestamp. So one thing I would like to do is access the timestamp that's inside of the request object,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a timestamp right here, and it has the day, the month, and then also the time.
Yep.
So let's try to get into that. So we're going to stop this saving for a couple seconds, and we're going back to relogging the request, console.log jovo $request .alexa. We'll just do this, crash and relaunch. We'll see it again, and then we'll go one step further. This will be kind of rapid iteration, so go ahead and try.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ the King, and welcome to my album. Thank you for listening in with me. Playing songs.
Alexa, stop. So right now, are those all session attributes, or are those, is that just from what I read to Alexa? So like if I were to say more to Alexa, would another request of data show up?
Do it. So launch. So yeah, here's two of them. It got logged twice. You can see the first one up here is when you.
Welcome to my album. Thank you for listening in with me. Playing songs.
Oh wait.
Which one would you like?
Play a song. Play a song.
Hey, DJ the King, and welcome to my album. Thank you for listening in with me. You can play a song. You can connect with me. Which one would you like?
Connect with you.
I'm still working on that one. In the meantime, you guys are working on listening to music. How can I connect or play a song? Which one would you like?
How can I connect?
I'm still working on that one. In the meantime,
Alexa,
you guys
stop.
are working on listening. Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
So did it pop out a request for all three things that I said?
Here was the first launch that you did. And you
Okay.
can see that right here. It says launch request. And then we went down here and we should see another middleware hook. Middleware hook. This request, it says right here is Amazon.stop intent. So that was when you said stop.
Okay.
And then there is another one right here, another middleware hook output. This one should be another launch. And then here is another one, Alexa middleware hook. This one is labeled fallback intent because it didn't know what you said.
Okay.
Here is another Alexa middleware hook. And this is another fallback because it didn't know what you said. And another middleware hook with stop when he said stop, and then here we are at the end.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so it is recording data on every intent. So we kind of do have that intents array and that catch-all array, but in separate observations. So it's recording everything by intent, is what you're saying right now.
It's doing it by request.
Okay. So everything I say to Alexa, it's recording that?
Currently, no. Currently, it's logging it, but not recording it.
Will it be recording it?
That's the goal once we continue.
Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, I mean, this looks good. The only thing I'm thinking about right now is the final format, how we record it, because want to be able to make one API call for a musician and retrieve an array of other data. So I don't think that'll be a problem, right?
It's only a problem if you see it as a problem.
I don't think it's a problem. So this is recording it's got a timestamp, the user ID, and the intent, and the device ID. So it's got an intent or a fallback option. The user ID is definitely necessary, and then start time and end time can be derived from these somehow. So this looks good. Let's keep going.
Okay, so we're going to do rapid iteration. So you're going to launch it, and then you will immediately exit as quickly as possible so that I can continue to parse the object. First thing, I want to go inside of Alexa request, copy that, save, crash, restart, go.
You want me to start and stop as quick as I can?
Yes.
Okay. Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey,
Alexa, stop.
welcome.
Yeah, keep going.
Alright, so now it's undefined, so I did that wrong. We'll go back and try it again. What can I do differently this time to try to actually get inside of the object? I copied that. Let's maybe try that. Crash. Try again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey,
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ.
So we're still getting undefined. Let's go dot size. Maybe I don't understand the Jovo request. Let's go to here, jovo.tech for developers, docs, request object, this dot $ request, find out everything about the request object there. Get intent name, get inputs, get user ID, get device. Let's try dot get timestamp, dot get timestamp, and let's see if that logs what I would like it to log. Crash, restart, try it again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ.
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ.
Excellent. So now we're getting a real timestamp. So I'm going to save that. Now we'll go back to here and we'll uncomment that. And now instead of timestamp.toString, we will go jovo.$request.get timestamp. We can delete this log. And now it should be saving a new entry each timestamp of, I believe, the entire request. Yeah, right now it's just doing the entire request to string, which is nothing. It's, as you can see inside of Firebase, it does not like that we're just doing to string and all that it's outputting is object. So for now, let's just see if we can get it to save under a proper timestamp. Go ahead and try really quickly again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey,
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ. Until next time, I'm signing off. Peace.
So now you've got two timestamps in here, a request with object and a request with object. The difference between these two timestamps is it looks like 8 whatever this would be, maybe milliseconds, maybe seconds. I don't know for sure. But so what would you like to do next? Because it looks like right now we're getting object. So you thought to grab these specific attributes or to try to put the entire request object inside of here?
Is that object everything that was in it, like that was in your console?
No, it's a string that says object. This is,
Okay,
this
I
is
mean,
what it is.
okay.
This is useless right now.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I want the actual object, I guess.
You want to store the actual object, not the individual attributes?
If we store the object, I can get the attributes. Storing the attributes would be easier in the end to, in terms of retrieving this data, but I could work with either. Preferred would be attributes.
Okay, what's the first attribute you want?
Timestamp.
Do you already have that with the key, or do you want it saved again?
It'd be easier to save again, because otherwise I'd have to do a separate API call to retrieve the name of the document and then the
That one's
actual
easy.
document.
What's the next one you want?
User ID.
User ID. Let's see if Jovo defines a way for us to get user ID. Get user ID. So this will be jovo.$request.get user. I think I should have copied that. Get user ID. Alright, let's save this, crash, and rerun and see if it does what you want.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ.
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the Until next time, I'm signing off.
Awesome, so it's got timestamp, the user ID, and those user IDs should be identical, right?
It sounded very mumbly. What did you say?
Those user IDs are identical, right?
Good
They
question.
should be.
This one ends with 3DZYA. This one ends with 3DZYA.
Great. Okay, and then the intent or the fallback.
Intent. In the Jovo request, we can say get intent name.
Perfect.
Jovo.$request.get intent name. What's the next one?
The catch. Also, if it wasn't a valid intent that was registered.
I think that would be inputs. Jovo dot. We'll have to test this one, so we'll do some. This time, instead of just doing a start stop, say some random things to it to try to see what it logs for inputs.
Okay.
Get inputs. Get inputs. All right, save and crash and restart, and you can start testing.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
We have an error. Data is not a valid, cannot use undefined as a firestore value, find in field intent. So it did not have an intent name, which I don't think makes sense to me. I'm going to continue to log the request console.log jovo.$request.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on. Try it again.
Start and stop.
Yeah, start, stop.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
I don't know that one.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ
Alexa,
welcome back.
stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ Until next time, I'm signing off.
It doesn't make sense because down in here, instead of intent request, we see that intent has a name of Amazon.stopIntent. So I'm not sure why it didn't work, but for now, I'm going to just put a question mark here and say not intent not found, and that'll only be if it's actually not found. Alright, so let's try that again.
Alexa, launch question experience.
Hey, it's DJ the King, and welcome to my interactive album. Thank you for listening. I'm still working on that one. In the meantime, you can have to work on listening to your music, how can I connect, or play a song. Which one would you like?
How can I connect?
I'm still working on that one. In the meantime, you can have to work on listening to your music, how can I connect, or play a song. Which one would you like?
Where can I listen to music?
You can find my music on Spotify.
Try just the word connect.
Mixtape, iTunes, and you can ask me how can I connect. Where can I listen to more music or play a song? Who would you like?
Connect.
I'm still working on that one. In the meantime,
Try
you can ask me
social media.
how can I connect or play a song? Which one would you like?
Social media.
You can connect with me on
There was
Instagram
connect
at
intent.
you can have to work on looking at my
Go ahead and
music.
exit, unless you want to play around more.
Who would you like?
Stop.
Yo, thanks for walking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until
Perfect.
next time, we're signing off. Peace.
So here's what we got. I don't know if you were watching or not.
Yeah, kind of.
So the final one was a stop intent with no inputs, timestamp and user ID were recorded. Previous was a connect intent, again with no inputs because connect intent is there. A yes intent when you said social media, so that was weird that it got routed to that, but good to know. Where can I find your music intent? No inputs. Then we have the catch-all, so capture intent. That one got can I connect, so it took out the word how and then did can I connect. But it did save that as a catch-all. This was an unhandled. Capture intent is unhandled. And then the one previously, we also have this, and then you said, do you play? And I think it was like, how do you play or where do you play? Previous to that, intent not found, so I think this one was your launch. So it looks like they all had an intent name except for launch.
Okay.
My hypothesis right now is that launch does not give us as an intent name and everything else does.
We can, yeah, we can work with that. We just have to monitor it to make sure that that is being consistent.
Let's try logging something else. I'm going to try logging
Session ID. Please make sure you log session ID. That way I can connect all these timestamps to the same session.
session ID. Let's see what Jovo, if Jovo gives us a...
His new session could be good too.
I think we can do better.
Cool. I mean, in addition.
You want in addition to other things?
Like if we have the session ID and a boolean saying is new session, could be useful.
Got it. Jovo $request is new session, and now session ID. Get timestamp, get device name, user ID, inputs, intent name. We want session ID. I'm not seeing it right now as something predefined, so I want to see if we can. I'm trying to figure out how we can pick apart more from this issue with connection. I want to see how we can get more from this Alexa.request object. So I want to log. It might just be doing this. So I'm going to try just doing .intent. Jovo.request.intent. and let's see what it logs now. Do a quick start and stop.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ,
Alexa,
welcome to my
stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is
Still
DJ
giving us
the
undefined. Maybe I need to define it as a variable. So I'm going to go const request equals Jovo dot $request. And now every time we're doing Jovo dot request, I can just go request dot intent. And then all of these in here, we don't need to keep saying, we can just go request. Save us a little bit of code. Let's see if that gives us anything different. Do you have any? I'm curious of what. Yeah, let's just try it again and see what happens.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ
Alexa,
welcome to my
stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. Peace.
So we're still getting undefined, and I'm curious of why.
What exactly are we getting undefined for?
Say that again.
What exactly are we getting undefined for?
Request.intent. My goal is to go into the object, into the request object, and to manually get what we want. Because right now, these methods are somehow going inside of that Jovo object. Oh, it even says it right here. Get the intent name for requests, undefined for launch requests.
Okay.
So now I think we can hard code define this as launch.
Yep.
But my question is, how can we manually go in there and get the data that these functions are getting? Because we're both using the same thing, but for some reason these are figuring it out and I am not. So let's just log the request object, do another one of your runs just so that we can see the request object again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
That was weird. Try it again.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ the King.
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off.
Did that record something? That failed? That failed session?
We gotta stop. We gotta start. We gotta start. We gotta stop. And before that, I don't think we were logging launch. So intent not found. Stop. And then we had a launch. So this one, and then another launch. It looks like it had two back to back. We had a is new session true, and then another launch is new session false.
So that looked is new session false, but it was an undefined intent.
Yeah,
So
it looks like this was the one that you did where it didn't give us a response. It had launch true and launch false, and you're right, both of them resolved to undefined.
okay, so that could be an anomaly.
So I'm still trying to figure out how we can pick this object apart, this JSON object apart, to
Okay.
get the data that is inside of it. Size. Let me see number of children, JSON object, JavaScript. Get total number of items in a JSON object. Object.keys JSON array. Okay. Dot length. So let's try logging that. Log request dot length. Let's see what this gives us. Go ahead and try it.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ
Alexa.
King, and welcome to my album.
Alexa.
Thank you for listening.
Stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. Peace.
So it gave us a number. It gave us a number of 4 for the length. So there are keys. Maybe instead of logging a request, let's just see what the keys are. So let's crash and rerun, and let's try that again. You should be good now.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ
Alexa.
the King, and welcome to my album.
Alexa.
Thank you for listening.
Stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. Peace.
Cool. So this time we can see that there are 4 keys: version, session, context, and request. So let's try logging the request object. Console.log request dot let's just go request, and let's match it exactly with the single quotes, and let's see what it logs. Any hypothesis of whether or not this will work?
Launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ
Alexa.
King, and welcome to my
Alexa.
album. Thank you for listening in with me.
Alexa. Stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. Peace.
Cool. So it looks like now we are actually logging the request. We log all 4 of the keys, and then we are logging this. And now we can get type. So let's get type inside of here instead of just hard coding launch. We'll make another const, and we'll go manual request object equals request. And now, instead of hard coding launch, let's go manual request object, and inside of there, we should be able to get type. So this time, instead of getting launch, we should see it should say launch request. Yeah, let's crash, rerun. Let me make sure I didn't do any. You know what? Just try it. Trial by fire.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ
Alexa.
King, and welcome to my
Stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off.
So we go to launch request. Do we want to use that request, that into like the manual way to do it for every single one?
Say that again?
Do we want to use the manual request object for every single one?
No. I think we want to use the Jovo methods unless it's not available. So session ID, I think that is not given to us by Jovo, but it is it here?
I see a session.
We want to get so we want to get a session. So we have request. We want const session equals Jovo dot $ request dot session. Nope. Session. And now instead of console logging request, we'll log session. And let's see what we get inside of there to see if it's useful. Crash, rerun. Go ahead.
Alexa.
Oh, whoa.
Experience.
My bad.
Request experience response.
My bad.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ
Alexa.
King, and welcome to my
Stop.
Cool.
Yo,
So
thanks for rocking
now
out
we have
with
a
me.
session ID.
Until next time, I'm signing off. Peace.
Perfect.
So let's add that session ID right here. So now we'll go session dot. Let me just copy it. Copy you. Session ID, and you don't like that there's no comma, but now there's a comma. So let's see if we now have a session ID. Go ahead.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ.
Alexa, stop.
And do it again.
Yo, rocking out with me. This is DJ.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ.
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. Peace.
Are those two different session IDs?
Yeah, so this one ends with 9FF. This one also ends with 9FF. This one ends with A8F. And this one ends with A8F.
Perfect. So now we can group every session together, string together the intent. Great.
What else you
Great.
need?
We've got the intents. We've got the fallbacks. We've got the device. Do we have device ID yet?
No, we do not. I think that
Okay.
should be a Jovo method. Get device
Sure.
name.
That could be useful. Who's using it on Echo? Who's using it on Screen? Yeah, I think we talked about that because like if a bunch of musicians are using a screen, then the musician may want to create some kind of visual experience.
You want me to just log everything that we're getting from this?
Honestly, yeah.
Get device name. What else are we missing? I think we're already getting intent name. We're already getting inputs. I think we're getting user ID. User ID. We just added device name. We already have timestamp. We don't have a locale, but let's add that. Locale. Locale would be good for international musicians to be able to know what country are people talking to me. Access token. I don't know that that one is relevant. I think that that's noise.
Yep.
Has audio interface would be good. Has audio interface. We'll say device. Device has audio interface.
And what's that?
If it has the capacity to play audio, such as a song.
Okay.
They all should, so that should always be true, but for some reason it's here. Has screen interface is different.
Mm-hmm.
That one will tell us if they have a screen. Device has screen interface. Request dot bam. Has video interface, just in case they can play video. Device has video interface is request dot bam. Get session data, I don't think that's relevant, and get state also I don't think is relevant.
Do the session data. I'm wondering what it'll return.
Those are session. Okay, sure. Session attributes. Request dot. There should. I don't think we're saving any session attributes, but I guess you're right. We'll find out. You were asking about a device ID.
Yeah.
And that will need to come from our manual.
I don't know if it's necessary. I wrote it down because we talked about it. I think. Yeah. I don't know if it was like something that we. I don't think it was something that was like necessary, but it just got brought up.
Well, so in this case, if we have all the requests from a user, and we will also have all the device IDs, so we can run a check and say, hey, give me all of the device IDs for one user, and then we can see how many different devices someone is talking to a musician on.
Yeah. Yep.
But it looks like it's not here inside of.
Jovo.
It's not inside of the session object, so let's check if it's inside of our manual request object. Manual request object. Go ahead and crash, rerun, try it out.
Alexa.
Whoa.
Stop.
I did something wrong on line 130. There's
Device
no device ID, and I have it there. Boom, boom. Save, crash, rerun, go for it.
Launch testing experience.
There was a problem with the requested field.
There was a problem. Field data cannot be undefined. Okay, so session attributes is undefined. So let's question mark. If it does exist, then we will use it. Otherwise, we will say, is there a format that would be good for you? Otherwise, I'm going to say no session attributes.
That's fine. I don't know what the format of the session attributes come in. If it's an array, we might just want to do empty array. Or that's good for now.
Crash, rerun, you're good.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ the King.
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
So here's what we got.
Perfect. Has audio interface, no screen interface, no video interface. Stop intent, not a new session. US, English. Session ID, timestamp, user ID. Cool.
Now let me check real quick if we can get a device ID, if that. Type, request ID, timestamp, intent. I'm still not seeing it, so let me check if I can get it from context. So we will log request.context. Context. Crash, rerun. Give me a quick launch end.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ
Alexa,
the King. Welcome
stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
Here we go. We have a device. So we'll go into system, and inside of system we want device. Context. System. I think there may have been a caps. Yeah, there was a cap. System, and then inside of that we want device. And then inside of that we want device ID. Device ID. I'm going to log it once just to see if it causes any errors. Go ahead and give me a start stop.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Boom.
Hey,
Alexa.
DJ the King. Welcome, minor.
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
Boom. It logged it. And we'll go back to just logging the manual request object for now. Crash, rerun. Let's see if it saves our device ID. This should be the same across all of your tests because you are currently using the same device.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey, DJ
Alexa,
the King. Welcome, minor.
stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
And your device always ends with MV270. What other data do you need?
That's great. We have all that. It's everything we talked about except for the location and the where did you find out about this experience.
And both of those will have to be user entered. The user will have to tell us those pieces of information.
Yeah, or with for the location, yeah. But I remember you talked about
Page.
the page, which I don't know, that would be a whole nother thing to get set up.
So I would like to see if we can do this for Malvimu. So the next step is to see if we can test this on Malvimu without breaking her current production app, because she's number one. I don't want it to break her.
Right now, where is it being? Can I see the database again? So it's being recorded in a. So we got user data. Is that? Go back to an Alvinu. So you got musicians, then you got Malvimu, and right now there's a collection called data. Are we going to add it? Is what we're going to have like a separate collection called user data?
I think so.
Okay. Cool.
What would you like your collection to be named? Because right now it's named user data.
we could call it utterance data. Is that if that's appropriate, or correct? Because it's just data on every single thing, interaction, every single thing that the user says to Alexa.
How about request data instead of utterance?
There we go.
Okay. Request data. All right. So if this is everything you need, I can delete all these console logs. We can delete this timestamp. We can delete this log. Come on, delete the log. Delete this. We're not using now anymore. And this is, I guess, fine written to Firestore request data successfully written to Firestore. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to put this, well, first let's test, make sure that I didn't delete anything important, so give me a quick stop on the same one.
Alexa, launch testing experience.
Hey,
Alexa, stop.
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
And it looks like we're still good. We'll check, make sure that it looks like it's good. So now we want to put this into our automatic pipeline so that every future musician gets this. And we do that inside of our Python functions, app.py. And we should have down near the bottom those exports. Bam. So we want this to be down here. And this allows us to scale it for every single musician. And now the question is there a musician name somewhere in here that we can grab? Name equals name of dry cleaner. That's so funny. Name equals options.name. So that's what we want to do. We want to grab name. And now we can, instead of having this just be testing, name, wonder if I got to do a plus, and if I got to do a plus. So now let's cancel this, hide, ls. We should have a Python Firebase script, so we want to go into Python Firebase scripts. Now we want to run Python app.py -b malvmu, and it's updating Google Sheet, which I don't think we need it to do. App.py, why are you printing updating Google Sheet? We don't need it to update Google Sheet, so get rid of those. Alright, so now it should have updated all of my local code with malvmu. Okay, and it did it without those quotes, which we do want the quotes, so let's go back in here. All the way down to the bottom. We want quotes around malvmu. How do I do that when I'm doing all this? Let's try that, and then that. I don't know if, that does not look like it is what it is. Well, what if I did a space? No, because we need it to be malvmu exactly. So let's try escape character, and then escape character. Let's see if that does what we want. We'll run Python app.py malvmu, and now we'll check app.js, and now, bam, we have malvmu saved. If we do the same thing, and this time it's testing, we should get it, and it should be saved for testing. Now it says testing in here in our app.js. So let's go back to malvmu, and we're going to run it locally and see if malvmu works fine by running Jovo run. I'm not in a valid Jovo project. Now I should be. Cool. copy this link. I'm going to go into our console, but instead of modifying testing, let's modify malvmu. Mal. There's mal. Let's edit the development version of the skill, not the live version, because we can't modify the live. Go to endpoint, and instead of it being malvmu's AWS Lambda, let's go to HTTPS. Put this in there. Trusted. Save. Now we need you to be a beta tester for the malvmu development version. So we're going to go to development. Nope, this is not where I want to be. Distribution. Availability, beta test. I'm going to send you a link inside of Slack as soon as I do this. Sweetman at miamioh.edu. You're now a beta tester. Once I enable beta testing. It's active, copying the invite URL, giving it to you. You mind sharing your screen so that we can show this to everybody watching?
Yeah. Alright.
Go for it.
Alexa, launch malvmu experience.
Boom.
Uh-oh. Requested skills response.
Aha! So I forgot something. DB is not defined. I forgot to add that up here in app.py to our imports because that was the first thing we did. I think we got it from helper functions. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? How do we do that? How did we do that? What's it look like in app.js? Should be helper fx. Let's control F helper F. Why aren't you showing me what I want you to show me? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, so when we will need to make sure that new musicians get this. So we'll need to do testing in a bit on this. Get this out here. All right. So for now, malvmu inside of her imports. So here in imports, we're getting, here it is, get audio from CMS, comma db, updated in Firebase. Some of the things are read from Firebase, so Control C, CD into that, and then we run app.py on malvmu. Now we cd ... and now we Jovo run. So now it should be defined. Yeah, we got DB right here. So go ahead and try it again.
Alexa, launch malvmu experience.
Hey, it's DJ the King, and welcome to Minor. Thank you for listening.
Alexa, stop. Is that supposed to happen?
No, thanks for working out with
No.
me. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
Why did that happen? Am I on the wrong branch? Let's check out the code base, GitLab. Let's see if there are more updated branches. This is Musician AI. Branches. There are a lot of branches in here and none of this is clean. Am I on the most updated branch of master? Git pull origin master. controls.js and app.js. I don't care about either of those. Git status. I care about the Python script. So let's git add Python Firebase scripts app.py. I don't think I care about anything else. Am I on branch? Oh, I'm on Ryan's branch. Git checkout master. Mother fricker. We're in a git. We're in a git lock. Okay, so we are in a git. We're in a place where git is not good. So we're getting got. Let's just control A on here, control C. I have everything I need copied onto my clipboard. I'm going to control N and I'm just going to paste it here on a file that does not matter. So now I'm going to git status, git reset head --hard, git status again. Bam, now there are no changes. Git checkout master. Now we're on the master branch, and now I can pull master to get the most updated branch of master. Now we'll git checkout -b suites / request data. And now we'll go back to app.py. Paste. Okay, so now the question is, did this change and do I really want to just paste over all this, or do I want to manually insert it? I think the answer is I want to manually insert the new section that we did down to the bottom. So I'm going to copy the middleware hook, app.hook, copy all this nonsense, put it into app.py all the way down at the bottom. Boom, paste you right there. Let's see if you work. cd into Python. And now let's just go up to run that Python script again. I don't want you to update the Google Sheet. Will you stop updating that dang Google Sheet? I'll take like 5 deep breaths. I have a feeling this is going to sit here forever, which is why I don't want it to run and why I commented it out. Oh no, cool. I just gotta be patient. Okay. App.js should have the middleware hook with Malvimu in here. Let's run Jovo run and let's see if it's still being funky. Try Malvimu again.
Alexa, launch Malvimu experience.
Hey, it's DJ Eric the King, and
Why
welcome
are you
Alexa.
giving me DJ Eric the King?
Yo, thanks for rocking out with me. This is DJ Eric the King. Until next time, I'm signing off. See you.
Okay, so what do we do here? For some reason, even though we are running it, what are the other Python scripts that usually get built? Let's check out our GitLab pipeline. Add beta tester, update skill by voice. What does update skill by voice do? It updates our API gateway, our config.py, our app.py, our model.py. Our project.py is probably, well, not project, config.py, because our config file in config.py is reading from an incorrect Google Sheet. This is our content management system. So even though everything else should be
I can't see your screen.
What'd you say?
I can't see your screen.
Oh, that's good to know. So our config here is, okay, let me re-walk through that. Update skill by voice is used inside of, so our GitLab CI, this is continuous integration. These are the pipelines that get run in the cloud to do all of our automations. Whenever we update an Alexa skill, whenever we update an Alexa for Musician, this gets run. And all that it really does, it moves around some credentials files and then it updates skill by voice. So update skill by voice. We're updating all these. All that I did was run app.py, but I forgot to update config.py. Inside of config.js, here's our content management system, otherwise known as CMS. This is what reads all of the responses. And you can see the current one that's in here. If I just go to this key, This should be DJ Eric DeKing. Yeah, DJ Eric DeKing. Now, if I stop ls and I cd, oi. I think we did we saved data to, or we should have saved data to her. Yeah, we saved request data to her, but none of this is relevant, so I'm going to delete it all. Now what I want to do is I want to run the config.py, so cd into Python Firebase scripts. Okay, cd Python Firebase scripts. And now we're running Python app.py-b for malvimu. This updates our app.js file. And once we do that, we'll then run config.py-b malvimu, and that should update our config file. And at that point, we should have everything that we need. Config.py. Bam. So now it has updated our config file to malvimu. If we copy this config ID and we paste this up here in our Google Sheet, we should see malvimu's voiceover acting. Now we see malvimu, and all of malvimu's voiceover files are in here. So if I crash this and run it, cd.jovo run. Now try running malvimu again. Let's see what we get.
Alexa, launch malvimu experience.
Hey, it's Malvimu, and welcome to my
Play around with
interactive.
it for a while.
Asking, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect or play a song? Which would you like?
Where can I listen to your music?
Hey, it's Malvimu, and welcome to my interactive album. You can ask me,
Make sure the
where
blue ring's on when you talk.
can I connect or play a song? Which would you like?
Where can I listen to your music?
You can find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, SoundCloud, etc. You can ask me, how can I connect? Where can I listen to your music? Or play a song? Which would you like?
How can I connect?
You can connect with me on any social media site at Malvimu. You can ask me, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect or play a song? Which would you like?
Play a song.
What do you think of my new song?
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop song.
Thanks for rocking with me. If you want to hear more, just say, play music from Malvimu. See you next time. God bless.
Did it all work good?
I think so. All this is inside of malvimu. We've got a stop. We have a play song intent. We have a connect intent. We have a where can I find your music, and we have a launch.
What about the one that didn't register for her?
Which one
One
did
where I
register for her?
It was the first one. I talked too early and it didn't do it correctly. She just repeated what she had just told me.
She repeated because she didn't hear you say anything because you were talking
Oh.
when the blue light wasn't on, so that wasn't
Okay.
even it wasn't even heard. So
Yeah.
try launching again and do a random thing.
Alexa, launch malvimu experience.
Hey, it's Malvimu, and welcome to my interactive album.
And you can interrupt.
Where can I listen to your music? How can I connect or play a song? Which would you like?
Where do you play?
Still working on it. In the meantime, you can ask me, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect or play a song? Which would you like?
Connect.
Still working on it. In the meantime, you can ask me, where can I listen
Alexa,
to
stop.
your music?
Right now, that's not. None of it's getting saved.
Good day. Play music from Malvimu. See you next time. God bless.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Let me find where it would be. Fallback intent. Context, system, device, request. So those aren't getting routed to, they're not getting saved. Let's check out if she has catch-all in here, defined in the language model. Capture intent is a question. Capture intent. Do you remember the question that you asked?
I said, where do you play?
Where it should have got do you play, and that should have been routed. Let's why did it work over there and not here? Config. Fallback should go to unhandled. Let's see where unhandled is. Control F, unhandled. Should have gone here, and it should have gotten those pieces of information, but it didn't. Try doing it again and say a couple more. It's weird that it's not going here.
Alexa, launch Malvimu Experience.
Hey, it's Middleware, and welcome to my interactive album. You can ask me, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect or play a song? Which would you like?
Where is your next concert?
Okay, got that one. Try a couple more.
You can ask me, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect or play a song? Which would you like?
Connect.
Try a couple more unhandleds. Catch all.
Still working on that one?
Yeah, that one didn't work
You can
last
ask
time.
me, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect or play a song? Which would you like?
Where do you play?
Okay, got that.
Still working on that one? In the meantime, you can ask me, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect or play a song? Which would you like? Still working on that
Okay.
one?
Where is your home city?
Is
Still
your
working
home
on
city?
In the meantime, you can ask me.
Ask her what her favorite color is.
How can I connect or
Alexa.
play a song? Which would you like?
What's your favorite color?
Still working on that
Didn't
one?
get that.
You can ask me, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect or play a song? Which would you like?
Cool.
What's your favorite food?
Yeah, instead of what's, try what is.
Still working on that one?
Alexa, what is your favorite food?
Got that. Try what is your favorite color.
Meantime,
Alexa.
you can ask me,
What is your favorite color?
still working on
Got
that
it.
one?
Got
Meantime,
it. So we got to
you can
expand the language model for catch-all.
How
We
can
will need to expand the language model for catch-all.
Stop.
Not the priority right now. The priority is data capture.
Yeah.
Thanks for rocking with me. If you want to hear more, just say, play music from Middleware. See you next time.
So it's not recording anything that isn't a pre-registered, like who, what, when, where, why.
Yeah. Amazon doesn't let us just capture everything. They say we have to define it specifically. So if you can you still see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
So we defined something called a catch-all intent, and we defined it with some predefined values. Control F catch. Okay, I guess it's not here locally, but here it is up in the cloud. Who, what, when, where, why, which is why it deletes that first word when you're when you see it logged in Firebase. When you say what is your favorite color, it says is your favorite color.
Gotcha.
Because what it's doing is we already know what, and then this is our catch-all, is that question. And that's what's being saved, is we can get the value of the slot, but we have to put something before it. So we were like, who, what, when, where, and why. But now I'm seeing we should also ask, who's, what's, when's, where's, why's, like, because people will append and they'll do that, or like maybe even why'd, who'd,
Yeah.
what did, you know what I'm saying? We need to expand this more to catch more.
Mm.
Here's everything. How, or blank is, blank do, blank up, tell, blank.
Yeah, so yeah.
It's a predefined thing. It won't catch everything. So we won't be able to get everything, but it is better than nothing.
It'll capture some things, yeah. Okay.
So the
Good
next
to know.
step is let's get this up in the cloud so that it's not running locally, so that every test that you do, you can continue to get. So we'll crash that. We'll run npm run bundle. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it into a zip file. And while it's doing that, I'm going to go to AWS Lambda. AWS, or let's just look up Lambda, because I should have it down here, console Lambda. Log into the console, root user, it already got it, thank you, LastPass, signed into Lambda. Go to functions, let's look up malvimu. We have a lot of functions, we do a lot of work. Now, it takes it a couple seconds to find them all. Mal. Okay, so there's malvimu. We'll go we'll create a new one and we'll call malvimu Arthur test. Malvimu Arthur test. And that's all good. Create the function. Created a function. We're all done. It's already been built.
So as days goes on, when people actually use their experience, it will get recorded into Firebase.
Right now, no. Right now I'm uploading this in a separate one that only you can access, because I don't want to break hers. So I want, what I would like to do is to take today, tomorrow, and Friday of you testing. And
Okay.
I would like it if you tested a few times a day. That way we make sure that we have not broken her app. Because she's number one. So if we're going to update her production code, I don't want this to be broken for people.
Yep.
So we'll wait until Friday, and let's say on Friday we'll upload it live. So, and I'm going to put that on you if that's okay. Will you take responsibility to schedule another meeting with me? And it can be a short meeting, or we could even do it during one of your 15 minutes at 9:45.
Yeah.
And then we'll upload it to her production code, and then we'll watch. Because let's see the leaderboard. Let's see if she's getting users
Seems
recently.
like Spirit of the Bear is getting a lot of users recently.
That's good. They've been doing a lot more podcasting. Shout out Spirit of the Bear. Malvimu's at 82. Static Res is number 2. Its Eye is number 3. Daily, Spirit of the Bear has 1. Weekly, Spirit of the Bear has 7. Pedpal has 6. Malvimu has 4. So Malvimu has had some this week. So have some of these. Hey, look, it's Brady hasn't had any ever. That's cool that some people are. Wow. Interesting. People who have never had users are having users this week. This is cool. This is cool to see. Malvimu, I'm excited to see her hit 100. She'll be the first to get 3 digits in terms of total sessions. Okay. So she's still getting users. What was I saying? Function trigger, Alexa skills. We'll disable ID verification for now. So if you want to hit this, you can. I don't know if there's going to be any downsides for any random hacker that's watching this hitting this, but that is one of the risks we take doing what we do. Live stream life. Do it live. Find projects. Interactive album. Musician AI. Bundle.zip was made at 11:41, 3 minutes ago. Upload that. And now we will copy this AWS Lambda ARN, go back over here into our endpoint. So right now it's on my local webhook, and now we're going to switch it to AWS Lambda, which is hosted in the cloud. Paste that there. As I'm thinking about this, I will make ID verification just for another layer of cybersecurity. Did it already do it? Wow, that was fast. Cool. Alexa Skills Kit. We'll delete that. We'll save that. Delete that Alexa Skills Kit. We'll go back to Alexa Skills Kit. This time we will enable skill verification. What this does is it makes it so that nobody else is allowed to hit our backend code except for this skill, which is the one that you're testing on.
Okay.
All right, so now when you should be able to test. My server is not running, and you should still be able to test, and we should still be saving data. Let's validate that hypothesis by running a quick test.
Alexa, launch Malvimu experience.
Connection error. Your Jovo webhook endpoint is not running.
Please run Jovo run. What?
This asks me to turn on follow-up.
Try again.
Right now?
Could not find module Jovo framework. Why couldn't you find Jovo framework? Maybe it's because we need layers. Let's add in a layer. Let's see what. Okay. I'm breathe. Go here. Let's see what layers Malvimu has right now. I forget about the layers. Lambda, functions, Malvimu. What layers you got, Mal? She has 2 layers. She has the Jovo with Mongo as well as the Google layer. So let's add in the Jovo. We'll just do this one. Can you wait till this is done adding? Alright, try running it again.
Alexa, launch Malvimu experience.
Connection error. Your Jovo webhook
Endpoint.
not running. Please run Jovo run.
Please run Jovo run. It does not like what we're doing right now. Why don't you like what we're doing? What happens if we test? What happens if we test? Okay, so we want Jovo with Mongo. I didn't actually do what I thought I was doing. Or maybe I did. Where am I at? Take a breath, dude. Where are we trying to go? We want to go back to functions. Malvimu Arthur test. We want to add a layer. We already have a layer. Java DynamoDB. Where are the rest of my layers at? Runtime compatible. Oh, the rest of them are not runtime compatible because they're all on a different version of Node. However, you are up here. Oh, maybe I didn't save the endpoint. Try it again and see what happens.
Alexa, launch Malvimu experience.
There was a problem. Please respond.
Cool. At least we're getting the error now. Let's go back. I might need to downgrade this to a layer level that works, but let's see what you do here. Timed out after 3 seconds. That's fine. I can increase the timeout length. Go here. Go down to base settings. Instead of 3 seconds, we'll make it 30 seconds before it times out. And let's increase the memory to 256 megabytes of storage, just in case. Launch you again. Do we get a success message? Don't fail on me. Could not find index. Could not find Firebase admin. Okay, so it couldn't find Firebase admin. We are going to go back and we're going to create a new one. Knowing what I'm doing. Well, knowing a little bit more of what I'm doing. Where are our layers though? What version is this one on? What version of Node? We're on Node.js 10. So what I did wrong is, we can just change it. I might not need to do anything. Let's go back. Arthur test. Let's just change this to, instead of Node.js 12, can I change it to Node.js 10? I can. Okay, save that. It should kick out the layer that we have right now. It didn't. Let's edit, delete this, remove you, save. Okay, now we're in layers. Let's add a layer. Now we should see our full list. Jovo DynamoDB. What's the other layer that we got over here? We got Jovo. Oh no, we need Jovo with Mongo. Jovo with Mongo, version 2. Add that, and then the other one we have is Google. So once that's done adding, now let's add another layer, and let's add Google. Hopefully one of these has Firebase in it. I have a feeling it does if it's here, but maybe it doesn't. And if it doesn't, then that's another thing that we'll need to add is Firestore. Let's test this. Give me a success. Give me a success. Tell me we did this right. Are we still missing Firestore? Okay. 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 Try it. Try it. Give it a shot.
Alexa, launch Malvimu Experience.
Hey, it's Middleware, and welcome to my interactive album. You can ask me, where can I listen to your music?
Alexa,
How can I connect?
stop.
Thanks for rocking with me. If you want to hear more, just say music from Middleware. See you next time. God bless.
I'm not sure it actually is saving that data.
Well, that's a Malvimu. Is there another artist called Malvimu Record Test?
What'd you say?
Is there something wrong with my microphone?
Either your microphone or my speakers. It could be my speakers. This is a very old laptop.
Okay, right now we're in Malvimu. Do we need to be in Malvimu Arthur Test?
Oh, no. No, because no, we do not. No, we do not. Because down here, inside of our app.js, which is inside of Arthur Test, this is not what it should be. None of this looks right. Here is our middleware hook, and it is saving to Malvimu.
Okay.
And this is inside of... So it should be saving it. It should be saving it. It worked locally. It's currently not working in the cloud. And my question is, why is it not working in the cloud when it worked locally? Let's validate this by again running... Let's try testing it locally again. Copy link, going back to developer console, endpoint, switch back to HTTPS, paste that there, do, save, try launching and let's see if it saves it.
Alexa, launch Malvimu Experience.
Boom.
It's Middleware, and welcome to my interactive album.
Alexa,
Where can I listen to your
Alexa,
How can
stop.
Alexa.
If you want to hear more, just say music from Middleware. See you next time. God bless.
God bless. Alright. Why are you not doing what we want? You have all the code you need up here. We uploaded it. Is there a piece of code that we're missing that would help with the Firebase? I feel like it would have crashed if there was something missing. Let's just copy this again. Let's just put it in and see if something changed. Save that. Try launching again. I'm going to crash my server to make sure that it's not reading from my server. Go for it.
Alexa, launch Malvimu Experience.
Hey, it's Middleware, and
Why
welcome
aren't
to
you
my...
saving?
You can ask me, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect?
Alexa, stop.
Thanks for rocking with me. If you want to hear more, just say music from Middleware. See you next time. God bless.
Very curious. Curiouser and curiouser. Database is coming from helper inside of Intense Artist AI Helper Functions. Is that up here in the cloud? Intense Artist AI Helper Functions. And here's Database. So Database is clearly defined. And Credentials is up here. So we do have our Musician AI Firebase credentials. If it's cool, I would like to see if Samir's available to pull him in.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to hang up on my phone and I'm going to call Samir.
Alright.
Hung up on here. Calling Samir.
I'm gonna go get myself a glass of water. I'll be right back.
Perfect. Hello? Samir? Interesting. Did not go to voicemail, but I do not hear Samir. I'm going to try calling him again. Hey Samir, are you out shopping right now?
No, I needed a break from coding, so I'm about to take my GR for a little bit of a walk.
I am on the call with Arthur still, and we finished up the data recording, and we're saving data successfully to Firebase locally. However, when I move it to the cloud, it is not storing in Firebase, and it's also not throwing an error.
It's also not throwing an error?
Right. The app is functioning fine, but it's not saving the data to Firebase. So I'm curious if you've ever seen anything like that before.
No, I have not. I mean, what changes did you make?
I added a middleware hook. There's a middleware hook before platform output, and inside of there we're using database.collection musicians, and we're saving data there each request. And it works fine locally, and then I run npm run bundle, store it up in the cloud. There were a couple errors. We resolved those errors with Lambda layers, and now it's just not saving, and it's not throwing any errors as far as. And when I say it's not throwing errors, it's not throwing errors when Arthur talks to the assistant. I'm currently checking CloudWatch to see if there's something that might be in CloudWatch that did not get shown to Arthur.
Yeah, I would check CloudWatch. I mean, if it's not, it's weird that it's recording it in Firebase or work locally. It should work on, unless there's a dependency that's not being bundled. But you think you solved that with layers, I think.
Yeah, cannot use. Okay, so I think. Okay, it looks like it is finding some things. It looks like device side. Okay, I think all I needed to do was check CloudWatch.
Okay.
So thanks for picking up the phone. Is there anything I can help you with right now?
No, I fixed the Safari thing, so it works on my sister's iPad.
What was the issue?
The get, so navigated the get device status, didn't work on Safari, so I just added in something else, which is like media devices dot device status to check if it allows audio recording. It works now. Now, in terms of microphone recording,
Yeah.
I made this switch out to the one that we're using for Alexa for musicians, because that one works. So, because I mean, I can't figure out why this component's not working, so I might just switch it out.
Okay. I think what we should do then, because I do like how your component counts down.
Yeah, I mean, I can figure out the countdown with the media recorder, the component recorder.
If you could figure out the countdown on that, that would be great. I think maybe just finding a middle ground of, if it's a computer, keep the component that you have. If it's a phone, use the component that we have on Alexa for musicians.
Yeah, okay, I can do that.
Either way, if you're able to get a countdown, then using the one that we're using for Alexa for musicians would be awesome.
Okay.
But that's awesome that you got it working, and I'm glad you were able to figure it out for Safari. So there was an actual bug. It wasn't just like your sister's phone being slow.
Yeah, there was an actual bug. I had to scour Stack Overflow to find that out, but yeah. Now, for the media recorder, I don't know how long it's going to take me, so I can't give you an estimate. If I'm not able to get it done before tomorrow, you might have to just use the computer to do it. Because you're going on a truck, right? Tomorrow?
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, but I'm going to try my hardest to get it done because I know it's a priority. I'm going to try and get it done today.
Awesome.
You need anything else from me?
Nope, that's it. Enjoy your walk with Lucky. Enjoy the sun.
Well, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Cool. Arthur's back. I don't know why I didn't check CloudWatch logs. So it looks like for some reason device ID is showing up as undefined. So what we will do... Whoa, I wanted Arthur. Too many. The most recent logs are right here. And inside of here we can see error type. Valid argument for data is not a valid Firestore object, cannot stack. And then it doesn't really say found in device ID. So it looks like all of these are related to device ID, and for some reason device ID is not being saved. So what we'll do is device ID, we'll throw a question mark. If it exists, we'll use it, and otherwise we'll say no device ID found. That being said, this should be in app.py so that it can be stored for everybody. I'll just copy this individual line. Let's save that. Let's run bundle, npm run bundle. That makes sense why it didn't save. It doesn't make sense why it didn't crash, but let's solve this bug, push it up, and see what we get. So now we want to go back to Arthur test. We'll go to here, upload a zip, upload a zip. This was made at 12:03, 1 minute ago. As soon as this is done saving, you can try running it again.
Okay.
Saved. Good to test.
Alexa, launch Malvinu Experience.
Hey, it's Malvinu, and welcome to my interactive hour. You can ask me, where can I listen to your music?
Alexa,
How can I connect?
Stop.
What's the error this time?
Thanks for rocking with me. If you want to hear more, just say, play music from Malvinu. See you next time. God bless.
Maybe I need to refresh, but I haven't had to refresh in the past, so I don't think that's the case. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, those are all from 54. What is your issue? Is this... It's not saying error writing to document, and it's also not logging request data successfully written to Firestore. It's not logging either of those. Maybe this needs to be an await. Await. Save. Let's make this an async. Let's see if that does it. Everything changes when it needs to run in the cloud. Arthur test. Upload a zip. Upload a zip made at the same time as we are right now. Try it again.
Alexa, launch Navi Experience.
Hey, it's Navi Move, and welcome to my interactive app.
Alexa, stop.
Thanks for rocking with me. If you want to hear more, just say, play music from Navi Move. See you next time. God bless.
It says request data successfully written to Firestore. Ah! Did we get it?
It did.
Try it again. Try it again.
Alexa, launch Navi Experience.
And do a little longer one. Play around with it a little bit. It looks like it saved another.
It's Navi Move, and welcome to my interactive album. You can ask me,
And we are
where
getting
can I-
device ID.
how can I connect, or play a song?
Cool.
Which would you like?
How can I connect?
You can connect with me
Got
on
it.
any social media site at Navi Move. You can ask me, where can I listen to your music? How can I connect, or play a song? Which would you like?
Where can I listen to music?
Got it?
You can find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, SoundCloud, etc. You can ask me, how can I connect? Where can I listen to your music? Or play a song? Which would you like?
What is your favorite color?
Got it all.
Still working on that one. In the meantime, you can ask me, where can I listen to your music?
I'm not
How
sharing
can
my
I
screen, am I?
or play a song?
Oh no, I am.
Play a song.
What do you think of my
Got
new
it.
song?
Alexa, play a different song.
Here's a popular station, Pop Pop, on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop. Did you get that stop input or what?
No. Once you play song, it'll often end the session and it'll exit.
Okay.
So now we know why it is doing that. So I will copy all of you into app.py, paste it right after. The only reason I'm pasting it after is so that I can get the proper name. Make sure it's in await. Delete all of you. Save. Get status. Get add. The only thing we care about is the Python Firebase script. App.py get commit -m. I add user, no, what is it? Session, no, request. Underscore data collection as Middleware Hook with Arthur Sweetman for data science visualizations. Git push origin suites. Request data. Boom. Up in the cloud. Branches. We should have my branch now. Let's create a merge request. submit the merge request. So I believe once we merge this, every single future musician should have this. I need to make a comment. Do not merge until we add DB as import in Firebase for all musicians. At Samir, can I tag Samir? Oh, I can tag Samir. That's great. Comment. Cool. Okay, so now I take this merge request, I take it into Slack, put it in Alexa for Musicians, at Arthur and at Samir. Can you please review? All right.
Okay, so next thing I'll probably do is try to create an API endpoint to get that. Sure, it'll be very similar to the one we made earlier.
Yes. Yes. Now your API endpoint, did it return every single timestamp inside of that musician?
Yep, just as an array.
As an array? Yeah, then it should be similar. So if you already know how to do that, that will be great if you can figure out how to do that on your own. And if you need help creating that, let me know. Did you push up your changes when you got that API endpoint working? Did we ever get that in a merge request and merge it into our code base?
No, I pushed the update, but to the branch. We haven't done any merge request. Since then, I've been working on I've been doing code changing the dashboard page in that branch, within that branch. So maybe it could be just involving the entire dashboard with that branch. It's up to you.
The larger the merge request, the harder it becomes for us to review it because the changes are going to get bigger and bigger, and people have very short attention spans and not a lot of time. So smaller merge requests are generally better because we can focus more attention on the minute details.
Okay.
So once you get this new API endpoint, I think you should create a merge request around that.
Okay, so we got 2 API endpoints. I haven't committed any changes to the dashboard code.
Don't commit any changes to the dashboard code. Focus entirely.
I wasn't going to. So yeah, I'll just change the that one file with the API endpoints and then commit that.
Perfect.
After.
Perfect.
We all good?
I think we're all good. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I know this was a long one. Hope it was valuable.